Everyone, welcome back to when Saturdays come and me dry bright, and I can't tell you how disappointed I am. I'm absolutely, I try not to get too down when we lose or too high when we win, but that really was disappointing tonight. I was really frustrated at the first point. There were no team changes after Saturdays. I don't know why there were no changes. Chris Wilder will probably explain that to us in his presser, but for me, I don't. He wanted to get. There's an argument to say that he wanted to give the opportunity to the players that played on Saturday to put things right tonight. But to me, I thought he should have made changes, and he obviously didn't. I thought he might have made 3, but he obviously didn't. Even when he made the changes, it wouldn't have made any difference to the result anyway. In my opinion, I thought we were outfought, outplayed, outmuscled during the game. I thought we'd have never scored if we'd have been playing till next week. That's my honest opinion on it. I thought Millwall, if we'd have played like Millwall tonight and got a result 1-0, we'd have been all saying what a great performance it was. I just read a bit of a report what Alex Neil said about Sheffield United after the game. He says Sheffield United are one of the lowest teams in the division that are putting balls into the box, and they're one of the better teams at defending them. So they just forced the ball out wide, and we couldn't any quality balls come into the middle. They just headed them away because they're a big unit, aren't they? They're big, and they did never look on the chances that we did get. We should have scored. Rexaki had a couple of chances when he come on in second half, and should have put them away. And you have to find that bit of extra quality and this level if you want to get promoted and score. You got to find a way. And on this occasion, we didn't do that, and it's very disappointing. I'm finding it hard. Millwall could have won 3-0. They had some right chances. I'm not going to take nothing away from Millwall at all. Chris Wilder said, actually, we had 20 shots on goal and 11 corners. And Chris Wilder said that in his presser as well. So I can't even remember having 20 shots. I get the corners, but I can't remember us having 20 shots. It says they couldn't find any moments of quality in the game. I think the players looked a bit anxious, a bit nervy at times. I think they looked a frustrated unit at times. I think we moved the ball. We had lots of possession, but we never did much with it. That's the thing. You got to. I'm just finding it hard to describe it at times. I know there were an incident in first half from a penalty. I think I've got a picture somewhere that somebody took and sent it me from a corner when somebody was shirts having been pulled, and it was absolutely 100% penalty. And why the referee didn't give it, I'll never know. And once again, we've had this referee before, and he was poor then. I think we played him in Prem, and he had a bad game then. It tends to be all about him at times. And I thought he were really poor. There were one where I sit in the very first minute. Berrington Diaz got a right whack from their left back, and on his shin going up for a ball, and he gave nothing. I want to know why. Why that were absolute blatant yellow. I couldn't get my head around why he didn't give a yellow for that. And even their centre forward were acting. Our two centre backs and Jacko are back all match, and he gave it nothing. So I'm not. It's not an excuse. I'm not making excuses for losing tonight. But they just shoot ourselves in the foot, don't we? And we've done it again. 2 opportunities, games we expected to win or at least get something out of, and now we made it even harder for ourselves. When we were in control of our own destiny, now we're not. We're relying on other teams now. Like Burnley and Leeds. Leeds got a great result at Middlesbrough, and Burnley drew at Derby. So they're in the driving seats now. We're not. I know there's points to play for. I know there's 5 games to go, and there is. Anything could happen, and it probably will. Burnley and Leeds will not win all the games. If they do, good luck to them, and they'll deserve it. But we've got a lot. We've got to start on Saturday at Plymouth and get a result at 12:30 kickoff. You know, I don't hold us up my breath for that, going down at Plymouth and having a kickoff at 12:30. But I think certainly there will be changes in the team, without a doubt, 100%. We've got to find a way. We've got to try and bounce back somehow and get a result at Plymouth. And I don't. If we fail on Saturday, that's playoff time, without a doubt. And we don't want that, do we? We know what's going to happen in playoffs. It'll be another season at champ. But we can always hope, can't we? But I can't hide my disappointment. I really can't. I'm trying to pick bones out of some positives out of tonight, but I just can't. I just can't find anything positive to say. I couldn't even pick a man of match, to be honest with you. I just can't. I mean, nobody really stood out and, put hold their hands up and say, I played, I got 7 or 8 out of 10 tonight. Nobody on pitch did. We had a lot of possession, but we never did much with it. So, I've got Chris Wilder's presser to follow after me. You can hear what he says yourselves and see what you'll think. I don't. In general, I tend to agree with everything what Chris Wilder says at times, but I think he got it wrong tonight. I think the team selection was wrong tonight, and I think I'd like to know. You'll let me know what you'll think. I'd love to know what you'll think actually in your comments. Put the comments in below, because as much as I'm frustrated, I'm sure you lot are. You've got to be, because if you're not, you must be having to get your head on one. But I can't. Honestly, I'm finding it hard to. I want to go to bed actually and sleep it off and sleep it off, and hopefully I'll feel better tomorrow and look forward to the Saturday's game at Plymouth, and let's hope we can get a more of a positive result. Anyway, look, thanks for your subscribing as always and your comments. I really appreciate it. So try and keep your heads up. Try and keep your chin up. It's a game of football at the end of the day, I suppose, but it's a bit more than that sometimes, isn't it? And it hurts, and when you lose. But let's hope. There's 5 games to go. Anything might happen. So I'll try and keep my chin up. You keep your chins up, and have a good week. And we'll look forward to Saturday at Plymouth. I hope we can get a positive result there, and hopefully Burnley and Leeds might drop a couple of points. Okay, up the blades, and I'll chat to you later.
No, it wasn't. It's been a tough couple of games for us. We didn't do enough on Saturday and paid the price, and just shooting ourselves in the foot really. First goal was massive in this division. The goal from our point of view, so many things that we could have done better with to prevent that. I thought the energy in the team was good. We've created enough opportunities. We've got the ball where we wanted to get it. I think we've had 25 shots on target. Not 25 shots, but really, when you're looking for that little bit of quality that you need, when you get into those positions, we never really found it. And fair play for Millwall. We looked frustrating at times as well. We looked anxious, especially as the game progressed, especially the younger boys really. Obviously I think that's potentially the first time that they've sort of played in this part of the season for such a big club as well, and they looked anxious, and we never got into any sort of momentum and rhythm. We were chasing, and if we chase, we leave ourselves open. I imagine their manager will say where they've had the big chances, which they have. So from our point of view, that's us not being calmer, not building the game, and then getting to positions we were or wanted to, and find those big moments. And even then, when we did get ourselves into some really good positions in and around the box, we have to finish those opportunities off, and we didn't, and ultimately we paid a price.
Is that the frustration that you've had lots of the ball again, lots of shots, but not really made the keeper work enough tonight?
Well, the keeper's made some good saves, made a good save from Tom, a couple of others that we should do better with, but we haven't, you know, as I said, the sort of the quality really that we do possess has sort of gone missing tonight, especially at the top of the pitch. So got to dust ourselves down. You know, the narrative will be, which I understand it'll be, and we've got to change that narrative with a positive performance on Saturday.
Should you have had a penalty in the first half when a nail gets dragged down?
Absolutely, 100%. So what was the game where Robbo brings somebody to the floor? What was that game?
Middlesbrough.
Yeah, Middlesbrough. It's just ridiculous. I always just think we had the referee last year in the Premier League. I think it's always about him, and everybody felt that before the game, and it felt that during the game. And you know, not trying to get people booked or sent off, but Coburn, you know, fouled both our centre halves about 25 times, and he never produced a yellow card at all. So yeah, I'm always frustrated when I see that referee given to us off the back of what happened last year against Luton and tonight. But that wasn't the reason that that we lost the game. As I said, we're just looking a little bit anxious and a little bit edgy at the moment, especially going into late in the game. And the reason for that is because we shouldn't really be chasing the game because of the poor goals that we're giving away.
This kind of back up how difficult it is to win games in this division, because both Oxford and Millwall have executed game plans well, haven't they, once they've got ahead?
Yeah, absolutely no criticism, and it's for us to break them down and find that bit of quality, which we haven't been able to break them down. We haven't been able to find that quality, whatever it is, whether it's a set play or whether it's, you know, getting the ball. As I said, we got the ball into so many good positions, first half and second half. You know, I think Ben should score with his header first half, and a couple of other bits have flashed across the face of the goal. The performance was, from an attitude point of view, was a positive one. I can't fault the effort of the players. As I said, it just, you know, when you sort of get into these sort of times of the season, you need to be calm and you need to be controlled, and you need to get that balance right. And we're not getting that balance right at the moment. But as I said, I understand where we are, and I understand the noise which will be, but still 5 games to go. Still a lot of points to play for, but you know, ultimately we've got to be so much better going into those last 5 games of the season, starting on Saturday.
Hindsight's clearly a wonderful thing, but in terms of going with the same team again, you threw the gauntlet down to them tonight.
Yeah, I did. Listen, I'm going to get beat up, whatever I do. So that's part and parcel of being a manager. If I'd have changed it, you know, why didn't we go again? And that was our best team and possibly our best performance of the season. So I gave the players the opportunity to go again, because collectively Saturday, you know, everybody was off of it. As I said, it was 4s and 5s Saturday. So yeah, give those boys that opportunity. And now I've got to go and pick out the team for Saturday and get the team right and get them prepared and pick the right team. So I've got no issue. And I said, like, I've got no issue with the negativity afterwards, because we've lost the game at home where we're expected to win. So, you know, as I said in my press before the game, no problem with that. I take that all day long. We don't deserve to be praised or clapped off, because we've lost a game of football at home, and we haven't found enough quality to win. So we'll take that. I think you understand this when the level of it, obviously what happened on Saturday, and you know, for me, the reaction at the end is fine and deserved.
We've talked about kind of reactions to adversity throughout the course of the season already. You've done well in most circumstances. This is a big test of that now, isn't it?
It's always a big test playing for this football club in this division, and at the moment, which the players are playing with a little bit of a heavy shirt, so I've got to try and get that shirt a little bit lighter for them, and play a little bit more freely. But yeah, I mean, as I said, they making poor decisions and a little bit cloudy in the decision making at the moment. They haven't been all season, and we've got to somehow get back to that, and hopefully a big performance and a big result Saturday gets us back to where we want to be, because we've got to win games of football, and most certainly we've got to win games of football in the manner that we've done so far this season.
Still plenty of points to play for. Still lots of twists and turns, you'd imagine.
Well, there is, I don't think anybody would have thought that we'd have lost the last 2 games, but we've done that. So we have to suffer, and we have to own that and take that on the chin. That's part and parcel. We get enough credit and praise when things go well, so we have to receive that criticism as we receive the positivity. So I'm okay with that, and only us can affect the performance. So it's head down. I think I've got enough personality in that group, enough characters, enough quality to get ourselves back into a winning run. But it has to come sooner or later, and it has to